Hello everyone. With Drupal 10 coming out on December 14th, if I'm remembering that correctly, uh, it's barely a month, not even a month. I think it's around 20 days from today, from the time of this recording. And I thought it's time to start upgrading some of my sites to Drupal 10, some of my Drupal 9 sites, and these are simple upgrades. Not exactly very straightforward. You still have to worry about a few things, but yeah, it's very straightforward upgrade. Compared to the previous era of upgrades, like 7 to 8, for example. Compared to that, this is very simple, very straightforward. But it's still, I would like to get a move on, try to upgrade a few sites and see what challenges I run into. And I have seen apart from deprecations, of course, that's something that you have to handle on an ongoing basis. With the major changes, major version upgrades, certain pieces of code, they get deprecated. So in Drupal 9, certain some classes, some interfaces, and modules even they get deprecated and they're removed from Drupal 10. So I need to worry about that. But also actual logistical part of the update process itself, the composer side of things, that sometimes gets little confusing, little challenging. So that's my main motive here today, to look at the composer side of things. And so to start with, I have this site running. It's an out of the box Drupal installation, Umami demo profile, if you're familiar with that. And so there's nothing custom, there's no custom code, and it's basically like I have installed Drupal with Umami. So there's some sample content over there, sample design and everything. But other than that, yeah, there's nothing custom over there, which means it's going to be a very straightforward upgrade process. And the only issues I'll find are with Composer if I do. And the idea again is like to kind of recording this video is to find a baseline of what kind of errors can I see in Composer. And I'm sure, with a little bit more complicated sites, with a lot more dependencies and everything, this could get a little trickier. But yeah, that's not the subject of this video. And my plan is that I'll repeat this video for a slightly more complicated site. But for today, we're just going to look at this very simple Drupal installation, and let's get started. So you can see that I have this very basic installation over here. There is not much at all really. You can see that it's just Drupal core and Rush installed, pretty much nothing else. And yeah, this was the idea. Uh, I have this site because we are using it as a backend to some POC we're doing with Quick. That's a new front end out there. And it's actually one of my colleagues who is doing this, and I'm helping out. And I thought, okay, let me upgrade this and see, and of course at the same time record this. So yes, let's get started. How do I reset the font size? Yeah, so this is the site again. If you have seen Umami before, it's the same thing. There's nothing new over here. And let's just confirm a few things. There's nothing special going on. It's recent versions of PHP, MariaDB database, and these warnings are about the experimental profile and few configuration things which are typical for a development environment. So yeah, nothing to worry about. I think it's as we have seen, it's a fairly straightforward site. And yeah, let's get started with the actual upgrade process. So the first thing is, of course, I'm trying to go grab the Drupal core update. So I typically like doing this Drupal slash, a command like this. So it auto filled it for me. The two dependencies that are related to Drupal core are here, and I'm marking them for both to be 10.0 at RC. And I'm specifically saying that I would like the RC version because again, because the dependencies can get quite tricky. And let's see what happens. I'm passing in the -w flag, which is kind of the shorthand of with all dependencies. It's an alias to that. So I want to update all the dependencies that are required by this core recommended and core composer scaffold. I'll just keep it to the short one. Like you can see from that from the pop-up, it is an alias. So yeah, let it run. It failed. Well, no surprise. First attempt hardly ever passes like this. And it says that, okay, it requires PSR log 3.00. It was found, but they were not loaded, likely because it conflicts with another require. So let's start digging into it. So I'm going to write composer why not PSR /log 3.0.0. I don't think so. It's going to, yeah, okay. So it's telling me that consolidation log requires one or two. Core requires one, but I'm upgrading core, so that's not a problem. Console and HTTP kernel, Symfony console and HTTP kernel. Now, these are also going to be updated as part of core, because now Drupal core, we know Drupal 10 is going to use Symfony 6.2, I think. I think RC is using 2, and if I'm not wrong, again, that also should get updated. So this dependency, this is fine, but this dependency, Symfony slash HTTP kernel, that's locking it to, again, 1 or 2. Now we need to move it to 3. So I think the only thing that's missing over here is consolidation log. And consolidation, I'm aware that it's these set of packages, consolidation, they're often used with Drush. So what I can do over here now, I know that Drush is already the most recent update, but we can make sure that we are on the latest version of Drush by forcing it like this. And let me just pass in -w as well, so that, okay, oh, something got updated, annotated command, but it didn't update the consolidation slash log. I think that was the main dependency I was worried about, but something got updated. All right, so we have this. I still don't think so. It has fixed our problem. We can repeat that and see. I think, yeah, how about if I use this terminal over here so that it's a little clearer? Now, again, this is a very simple site. So one option I do have is, like, rather than worrying about all of these things, I just removed Rush for now. Like, I don't really need to have Rush right now. And I can just add it back after the update is done, and then Composer is not no longer confused. So let's see, why can't it use Composer consolidation log 3? So I can see that, yeah, I have to understand this output. Let me move this out of the way. Yeah, it's what version should I be looking at? So let me see, consolidation slash log, and I'll open the packages in browser. So the latest version is 3, and that does require PSR slash log 3, whereas the earlier versions 2, for example, that's still on PSR log 1 or 2. Okay, so I know this so far. So we need to force it to go to 3. So why isn't it going to 3? So let's, yeah, let's, what does this say? Okay, consolidation slash robo requires log of 1 or 2. All right. So that's, let's try out the robo. Why is it, why can I go to the latest version of robo? Like, I've checked this before, so I know the latest version of robo is 4.0.1. So can I update to that? And it requires Symfony console 6 and everything. So all Symfony. So it's like two set of dependencies over here. We have one set of dependencies of Drush that work with Symfony 6 only, and another set of dependencies which work with only with Symfony 4. And that's causing a problem because, yeah, I mean, after the update, Symfony would be 6, but Composer is not able to determine that completely clearly. So what do we do now? Again, I said I do have the backup of removing Drush, and I'm sure, like, okay, that will take me to the next step. But yeah, let's see what else I can do over here. If I force update to robo 4.0.1 as part of the Composer required command, so let's try that. But before that, let's see what versions of yeah, so, like, why are we including consolidation slash robo? So I'm basically trying to see Drush. It requires robo both either 3.0 or 4.0. Okay, so it works with 4.0. So I have to get it to upgrade to 4.0 somehow. That's my target. Right. And like I said, if I remove Drush slash Drush for now, that's an easy way. I mean, if you want to just get ahead with the update, you can just do that. Forget the Drush for now. Of course, add it back. But yeah, I can remove that and at least go with the update. But I can try one more thing at least. So I can again run the require command, but explicitly specify that I want consolidation slash robo at 4.0.1. Okay, so if I say that, it will force it to update robo to 4.0, which will force consolidation log to update, which will force PSR log to update. And our dependency should be satisfied. So let's see if this works. So we have one problem, as you know, robo requests Symfony console 6, but these were not loaded. Okay. Second problem, when trying to resolve core recommended to 10.0, it requires Symfony slash console 6.2. Okay, but it conflicts with something else. Okay, so Drush. Okay, so will it work if I even pass in Symfony slash console over here? And of course, you know, I can remove it later. But for now, let's see. I do mean to remove these dependencies later, but okay, we are just adding on to the list of problems. And it's coming back to Rush, you know, it's locked to this version, and update of this is not requested. But I'm saying dash W, you know, with all dependencies, so I'm not really sure why it is not taking it. Yeah, you know, it should also update any dependencies of Drush slash Drush, but yeah, it's tricky, right? You know, with with Composer, these kind of problems do come up. And I'm sure, you know, it's like some other requires some other change in Composer will make it work, but do I really want to spend more time on this such a simple problem? And I mean, of course, I can remove Rush, but let me just give another minute over here. So I don't think so. Composer, why not Symfony slash console 6 will tell us, because I mean, like a lot of things don't need 6, don't work with 6. Okay, side process is another thing. So I can keep going down the rabbit hole, I think. Um, what is it? Consolidation slash side process. I have to first find out what is the. Oops, not what I meant to do. Let's see. So we have 5.1.1. That's the latest version, which requires, okay, 6. All right. So why not update that to 5.1.1? You know, consolidation slash side process 5.1.1. Let's see. Oh, this worked. Well, I mean, you know, the easier way out of this would have just been to remove Rush, but it's fun to get things working, you know, like go down the rabbit hole and see more and more, because sometimes we may not have an option to remove some things. In this case, it was entirely possible to remove Rush, but in some cases it may just not be possible, and in that case, okay, you have to figure out how to go down this rabbit hole. And this is the general strategy, you know, keep repeating composer why and composer why not. The composer why not is a more powerful tool in this particular case. Keep going down that rabbit hole and telling composer, okay, do this, do this, do this. You know, basically we are doing the part of its job ourselves. So anyway, let's go back to this. Now the update is done, composer lock is updated. I'm actually able to remove all these extra dependencies which I no longer need. Consolidation slash side process. So of course, these things won't get removed. It's just we are just removing it from our composer.json. These were the packages we added extra, you know. So yeah, like it says, you know, nothing to remove. Removal is failed, but it's at least removed it from our composer JSON. So a roundabout way of getting to the same solution. Removing Drush would have solved it for us, I think. So okay, our code base is updated. Now we have to see what we need to update on the front end side. Sorry, on the Drupal side. And typically, the first command you can run is update db and see what happens. See, our Drush cache rebuild is also a good option, you know, especially if you're using something like opcache and everything. It's a good idea to run that. But I'm using this is on command line. Opcache really doesn't. Usually, it's not enabled for command lines. Okay, so missing or when yeah. So ckeditor and RDF are missing. This will lead to bigger problems. Now, I'm already aware that ckeditor and RDF they have they you know these projects had moved to Contrib. Now, first of all, we don't need ckeditor at all, because Drupal comes with ckeditor 5. We can move over to ckeditor 5. And RDF, if you're using it, of course, you know, you can use the Contrib version of RDF. It's the same thing. So let's quickly take a look at those things. ckeditor 4, that's the module we're looking at. And I'm kind of wondering now, where did the screen get stuck? This is a bug with OBS, but it turns out it's a bug with Mac OS itself, and it's going to be fixed in upcoming release 13.1. I've been following that issue, but yeah, like right now I'm stuck with this. Anyway, so ckeditor, back to this topic, ckeditor 4, and I just need to see, yeah, it works with 10, so it's a good thing. I just copy this command and run it. Same thing, I'm just going to check for RDF. So yeah, if you're looking for replacement of course RDF, you're in the right place. All right. So I just want to cleanly reinstall. I don't really need RDF over here, but I just need to cleanly install it. So I'm going to require RDF as well. And yep, it's doing this updates. So I'm just going to do a cache rebuild. And now it should have found those problems. It should have fixed those problems. Let the cache rebuild be done. I do know that sometimes with screen recording, it takes longer. These operations take longer. But yeah, we are done now. So let's see if the site works now. Okay, it's working. Let's see the status report. 7 warnings. So yeah, few things. Uh, Same thing with experimental modules. Same thing with deprecated modules. ckeditor. So we'll get rid of that. And RDF also. I just want to cleanly remove it. So let's remove RDF first. So I'm just going to use brush to remove RDF. And yep, let's see the other warnings. I'm going to ignore this. This is interesting. This is a new thing that I found out recently. I'm going to set that. Oh yeah, so ckeditor, since I have changed the module, so core comes with ckeditor 5. So let's look at that module. So let's see ckeditor, and we'll enable 5. Of course, we could have done this from Drush, but again, I just wanted to see if it was enabled or not. So I'm going to enable ckeditor 5. That's happening. Over here, I want to move over all the formats to the new module, right? So it's right now it's using ckeditor. So let's do that quickly. Let's move over to ckeditor 5. Okay, it's enabled. We see that. So text editor is ckeditor 5. Okay. It did few things as a part of the migration. All right, fair enough. And yep, yeah. All right. I'm not really going to go too deep into this. I think that's like really, I mean, there must be other videos out there for that. So let me just try save configuration and see what happens. Okay, error. The ckeditor 5 media plugins, some setting should be in sync with embed media filters, some other setting. Okay, so when checked, 2 or more view modes must be allowed by the filter. All right. So, okay, this is the media plugins, allow the user to override default view mode. Okay, that's there, that's checked. And given this is basic HTML, yeah, why not? Let them change the view mode. And over here, these are the view modes, right? So I'm just going to check a bunch of them. Yeah, let's do save configuration. Okay, this worked. So similarly, I'm going to move the full HTML to ckeditor 5. Again, let me check the plugin settings. It's not enabled at all. But won't you say for full HTML I should want to? Well, I'm just going to leave it be for now. I'm not really sure. So okay, like it makes sense, right? Full HTML is something that administrators will use, and shouldn't they be able to change the view modes? But okay, anyway, I'm not going too deep into this right now. I'm changed the ckeditor 5 formats, and that hopefully means that I can cleanly remove ckeditor as well. So let's keep exploring the site. Yeah. So all right, experimental models. Umami is still there. I mean, of course, we have enabled Umami. APCU caching is enabled. Why is that a warning? Memory available 6 MB. Okay, what's the problem here? Like, why is it a warning? All right. Update notifications are not enabled. Okay, I can ignore that for now. This is like a simple site. Let's see this. For the best performance and minimize locking issues, the read committed transaction isolation. Okay, so let's see this page. And the preferred way to change is, okay, it's talking about the different isolation levels. You can read up on that. Of course, I think I'm going to put this link in the video description. And the preferred way to change the transaction isolation level, that's the do it globally, but it has to be run by database user which has super user privileges. Now I don't want to deal with that because I mean, like, it's within dev and it has its own database initialization scripts and all of that. I don't want to go into that right now. So the alternative way is to put it in settings.php. Okay, I can do that. And to change the database isolation to level to read committed, add the following to the database connection array. Okay, so yeah, let me see how to do that. So I'm going to open my settings.php, and I know that because I'm using ddev, the database details are over here. Really, so one way is, of course, I can put it over here, but you can see this file is generated by ddev and it'll get modified, overwritten. So I can remove this comment, of course, but I want ddev to keep this file, keep managing this file. So I'm going to do its databases default, right? So right after Redis is, sorry, this thing, ddev configuration is included, I'm going to, well, not within, like, in all cases, I'm going to do this database. No, what is the name? Databases default. Just copy this. And yep, I can set this and change this to semicolon. And I think, oh yeah, okay, it's equal to. All right, so I'm overwriting the init commands. Maybe I should keep adding to it, but fine. I'm just going to overwrite it. It's fine. And yes, let me put in a comment with where did that go? Yeah, with this link. All right, so this is done. And I think we should clear the cache once, I guess. We have updated, so I mean, actually our job is done, but we're just running the post update checks that we need to. Well, that warning has disappeared. APCU caching, there is no link, so I'm going to worry about that later. uh, Other things are all fine. This I'm going to, other warnings, I can just let it be for now. And yeah, so with this, I think I'm ready to remove my modules from the composer file, this RDF and ckeditor, which I've just added. I don't need them anymore. So composer remove Drupal slash, yeah, from before. All right, so that's done. I have this list of changes. What are the changes do I need to look at? So composer files are, of course, I'm going to add that. And all these default things, I can just let it be. um I do like to keep my default and settings in check, so I'm going to do that right now. So this is my settings.php. I've added this line that I have to make sure I preserve that, otherwise I'm losing my changes. But I'm going to open this default settings.php and see what has changed. And typically the way I like to do this is copy paste. I mean, I'm sure there are better ways to do this, but this is like the easiest one for me. It has made a lot of changes, and I am really worried about changes at the end of the file. So we have, these are all new things, which must be like new Drupal 10 things, new Drupal 10 features that are out. So was this changed? Okay, config sync directory, I thought that was deprecated. Anyway, this is one of those things that ddev is going to take care of anyway, so I'm not too worried about this. But because it will not always run on ddev, right? It's something that I need to, like, see, ddev is going to check this. Actually, it's in the wrong directory. This is, yeah, yeah. Actually, that setting is important because otherwise ddev will overwrite it to the wrong config directory. This is the correct config path, config slash sync. That's, most sites use this version. Okay, what else has changed? I'm just going to, like, within the comments, whatever is changed, I'm not going to worry about that. That's just updates that are coming in. Really, I wish there was like a settings.php which just contained the settings and another reference default.settings.php which contained everything else. So, oh, that's a new thing. This is another way for me to find out, okay, what's new in Drupal core. So update fetch with HTTP fallback. Okay, so this must be a part of the update, automatic updates initiative. Okay, so that's new. What else is new? Yeah, file additional public schemes. Okay, private other schemes. By default, they're private. So we can. So if a module registers a scheme, can we make it public or not? That's something. Okay, this is, I think this will take time to understand. So maybe for later. Another one is permissions policy headed to disable Google FLOC, federated learning of cohorts. Okay, that's a new thing that's been added. Nice. All right. So if a whole chunk was removed over here, what's this? Fast 404 pages. Okay, maybe that's no longer relevant in Drupal 10. All right. So what else? Settings for migration schemes and then local development. So I'm thinking, the DDev settings got lost in this, and that's okay. That's unfortunate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first of all, I have copied something in, so I'm just going to paste that first. We have restored our database transaction isolation level change, and I'm going to bring in the settings.ddev thing again. Okay, I think I have to kind of do it the harder way. Copy the whole thing, restore what was there before, and bring that back. All right, so I'm just going to move these things to the proper places. So yeah, these things get like, that's the reason I prefer settings.php is and default different. But anyway, like, okay, yeah, I don't know. I just like to be pedantic about such things, I guess. So we have our settings.php updated. What else do we need to worry about? HT access, it's modified. It's a good idea to check what's changed over there. So I've not changed HT access, so I can just like don't not worry about it. But again, it's a good idea to check what has changed in HT access. So it has removed the module for PHP 7. Okay, yeah, makes sense because Drupal 10 supports only PHP 8, and rewrite rule has changed. Yeah, so okay, it's a fair thing. Um, Let me check the robots. It's disallowing media. O embed. Okay, nice. Few changes here. I'm not too worried about this. All right, and the rest of the changes we've already covered. I'm not really caring about example.getIgnore. So yeah, I'm good with adding web to my Git repo. And last thing is config export. We've already run update DB, so we are good with that. And that's really the last step. Yeah, our update is done now, and we can just yes, 10 RC, and so we are done. Let's look at our site and if it works as expected. Yep, it looks okay. We should also look at the logs just in case. Again, I'm sure warnings must be there, especially things like ckeditor and module and RDF. But okay, we are seeing some warnings. I'm not, again, it's a problem for another time, but again, it's a good idea to look at what happened over here. And configuration export also has changed a few things. RDF has been removed, the text formats are changed, code extension is changed. Okay, all of this makes sense. So all right, I think we are good to commit our config sync as well, and that's it. We are done with our update. I hope you found this video useful. It was a bit long, few things went little haywire, but yeah, I hope you still found the journey useful and fun. Have a good day.